vs. Ferrari is directed by James Mangold, starring Christian Bale and Matt Damon. James Mangold has worked on numerous amounts of movies, including The Wolverine, Logan, 3:10 to Yuma, and The Greatest Showman. So he's a very accomplished director. And in the end of 2019, he brings to the screen the story of how Ford Motor Company set out to make the fastest car in the world to beat Ferrari in the Le Mans race that occurs every year in Le Mans, France. First and foremost, I'm going to say not very many based on a true story movies are great films, in my opinion. A lot of them can be, but movies like this, I don't think top the list. Don't get me wrong, I didn't think it was a bad movie. I didn't think it was the greatest movie that came out this year, though. There are some things that I didn't like about this movie. First, I want to talk about the things that I did like. Christian Bale's acting, phenomenal. It is great. What movie is he in that isn't good because of his acting? It's just awesome. Matt Damon, he's also good. He's great in every movie. I don't think I've ever seen a bad movie with him in it. It's got some interesting parts of the movie. I went into this movie not knowing anything. The only thing I saw was the trailer in the movie theater. And I just knew it was about Ford trying to make a car that was faster than Ferrari. So this was entirely blind for me. I really didn't know what it was about. I knew it was a true story, and I knew they were just making a fast car. That's it. So there were cool parts to it, some things I learned about racing. I would definitely say that racing is a sport after watching this movie. It's really complicated. I had always thought NASCAR, you just turn left. But they actually make a joke about that in this movie, and it's kind of interesting, the different types of racing and how it goes unrecognized. Or at least it's not nearly as popular as what you hear about. But I did like a lot of Christian Bale's acting in this movie. He steals the show. He's a very likable character. So is Matt Damon's character. And of course, in these true story movies, I don't know if I've ever seen a true story movie where there isn't a guy who's trying to sabotage the entire thing. Like, no, we're going to do it the corporate way. I mean, there's a guy like that in this movie. Shocker. I hope I didn't spoil it for you. So that kind of leads me into the things that I didn't like about this movie, and it's just there's so many true story movies that follow the same pattern. It's kind of hard, not hard to watch. I'll still watch the movie, but it gets a little old after a while. It's the feeling of, the entire movie we're making this car. Oh, we just figured out how it can become better. Oh no, something bad happens, but we're gonna come right out and we're gonna fix that and we're gonna take the title. It's all of that. This is like the epitome of a comeback story, and I don't know if I'm a fan of that, because there are moments in the movie where I feel like I'm just being told what is happening. I don't feel attached to what is happening in the scene. I feel like they're just saying, yeah, brakes are bad, fix it. And see that, audience? We saw that the brakes were bad. We fixed it. Wow. But then they have to add intense music and an explosion and flames and something super unrealistic to make it a Hollywood movie. I mean, it has to make the big screen somehow. If every true story movie didn't have a bit of a twist to it, I mean, they'd all be super boring. Real life is boring. That's why we watch movies. Look at Rudy, for crying out loud. I mean, great movie, don't get me wrong, but the ending, it's not true at all. He's not the only guy that made that tackle. He was barely in on the real play. Enough about that movie. That movie came out 20 plus years ago. Ford vs. Ferrari is a good movie. I will give it that. Is it the best movie of the year? No. Is it in the top 10 best movies of the year? No. Maybe. No. Now I want to talk about something that just... Why are people allowed in movie theaters? I don't understand how someone can go sit down in a 2.5 hour long movie with their 5-year-old daughter and 9 to 10-year-old son and buy 4 seats so his son can play with the relaxing chairs, both of them, and his daughter can walk around and ask questions, and he can talk to her out loud during the movie, and they choose the seats right next to the one I picked 2 days ago, which were not chosen. I purchased the tickets for this movie 2 days ago. I sit where I always sit in the movie theater, front row. The other seats that I like in the very middle were taken. I mean, it's very standard. Most people buy those seats. They're the best seats in the house. It's an IMAX theater. Every movie I see is in this Ultra Screen Deluxe at a Marcus theater. I sit down in my seat. I think nothing of the people who have chosen their seats, 2 to my right, and the other 2 on the other side of them. And about 2 minutes in the movie, the girl got bored. So that's what I got to listen to for the rest of this movie. The first hour was very hard to focus on the movie. Some of the things I definitely missed out on later on. I was thinking, what did he even say? I couldn't hear him. She went to the bathroom right at 2 minutes into the movie with her dad, who had taken off his shoes, so he had to pull his blanket off, put his jacket on, put his shoes on. He was getting dressed in the movie theater to go to the bathroom that was maybe, 100 feet away from the theater entrance. I mean, if it's not that far of a trip. You don't need to go out in the winter cold. You don't need to throw your jacket on. You don't need to fold up your blanket. And you sure as heck don't need to go twice with your daughter. And please come back not smelling like you just took a shower in the toilet. It was one of the worst movie experiences I've had. I couldn't focus during the movie. The best part of the movie was the racing at the end, the big Le Mans 24-hour racing marathon. And the reason that was the best part was because it was the loudest part in the movie. I didn't have to listen to the conversation that was going on 3 feet to my right. Everything that wasn't funny, he would laugh out loud at, and so would some group of, I don't know if they were kids or just really, really ignorant adults laughing in the back of the movie theater. This movie's not a comedy. It's a true story. Sure, it has some quippy moments like, oh, that's funny, ha ha ha. He made a joke about brakes because it's a car movie. It's not laugh out loud, roll on the floor, spill my popcorn hilarious like the guy next to me thought it was. I don't understand. Like, there are other people that paid a lot of money to go see this movie, and you're gonna sit there, take off your shoes, move your toes around constantly, roll across 2 seats because his daughter was laying on the ground and playing around his foot area most of the time, while his son played with the 2 buttons the entire movie to push the seats up and down. I don't get how anyone could think, oh, they're not bothering anyone. And you might say, Eli, why didn't you just get up and move? I mean, this was the most crowded I've seen this IMAX theater on a Thursday night. If I would have gotten up and moved, I would have either sat next to the people behind me, who I noticed were on their phone the entire time. The people behind them were the obnoxious laughers. And I don't like the top row of this theater because when you put your feet up, you can't see the screen. So I sat in my seat, and I don't want to sit up front because the screen is huge, it is curved, it goes from floor to ceiling. I don't want to sit there and have to turn my head to look at, oh, that's what's happening, what's going on? So I sat in my seat, and I foolishly watched this movie because in hindsight, I should have gone and got a refund and went to the 9 o'clock showing, because 6 o'clock on a Thursday, I guess, is when dads don't know what to do to entertain their children, so they take them to a racing movie about building a car. Just what every 7-year-old girl wants to see. I don't get it. So that's kind of an explanation as to why I might not have liked this movie so much. It gets really good reviews everywhere else. I don't necessarily always agree with Rotten Tomatoes. Actually, a lot of the time I don't agree with them, but this one scored really high on there. I try to not look at reviews before I do a review, or especially before I see a movie. I didn't see anything about this movie before I saw the movie. But this movie, I can understand how it would be better than I thought it was just because of that experience. It's tough to focus on a movie and understand the storyline and follow the plot while all of that distraction is going on, and I don't understand why other people would pay money to have that happen to them. It's just, you're paying money for some mindless, numb brain entertainment. It's mind-boggling to me as to why that happens, why people do this. It just makes no sense. Why would you waste your money so that your kid can control what you watch, what you can hear, like all the dumb questions that they ask? You have to bring a blanket and you take your shoes off. Oh, now you have to go to the bathroom. So does your daughter. Now you have to take her. Oh, what's that? She can't walk in front of the people. How about you climb over the railing? Not under it, climb over the railing and then walk all the way down to the stairs. And then on your way back up, still don't want you to walk in front of the people that are sitting there. We want you to climb back over the railing. People are ignorant, and I don't like it. Although I think this movie is a one-time watch, I do have to be fair, so I will see this movie again. I will not do a review on it after the second time. So that's why I'm going to up my grade a little bit, because I do feel like I would enjoy this movie more if I didn't have the moron sitting next to me. So Ford versus Ferrari, I give you a B-. Final thoughts on this movie. I'd say it was a fun watch. It was really cool to see them do this. I mean, like I said, it's a true story. So it was interesting to see that Ford actually did that. I do have to say, I think this movie made me dislike Ford a little bit more. I've never really been a big fan of them, but the ending to this movie, I mean, if you know what happens in the story, then you might know why. It's because, I mean, credit isn't given where it should be. And I think it's kind of dumb that actually happened, but it's a true story, so I can't change that. So it's an entertaining movie. Go see it. Tell me what you think. If someone is bothering you in the movie, hit them upside the head. Just kidding, don't do that. This video could be flagged for inciting violence, so accidentally drop a weight on their forehead. There, accidentally though. Otherwise, I mean, it was an entertaining watch. I'm glad I got to see it. I will see it again, like I said, but next week I'm looking forward to Parasite. Parasite is a movie that's been out for a month already, and it's nowhere in Lincoln, it's nowhere where I live. So it's coming to a theater on campus next Friday, and I will definitely be there to see it because, unfortunately, like I said, it's been out for a month, so I've heard great things about it. I haven't looked at any reviews, any spoilers. I don't know what it's getting on Rotten Tomatoes. I haven't seen anything. All I know is that it's supposed to be one of the best movies of the year. It's directed by Bong Joon-ho. I think I'm saying that right. He made Snowpiercer, and I really like that movie. Watch Snowpiercer if you haven't. So Parasite is his new movie, and I do want to see that. It looks great. I do have to say that. And I think Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, comes out next Thursday. So I'll probably be at the premiere for that. And then the very next day, go see Parasite. So possibly 2 reviews next weekend. That's all I have to say about that. Go see Ford versus Ferrari. It's entertaining. It's got fast motion. It's got explosions. It's got cars. It's got romance. It's got some comedy in it. It's got something for everyone. Go see this movie. Sorry for the cut there. I am in a college dorm, remember that? So I have people walking by, slamming their doors, and this room is not very good for acoustics. It's very echoey, and everything seeps in through the bottom of the door. So you can hear pretty much everything that's happening on this floor in this room. I couldn't record it in my room. My roommate is sleeping, so I had to do it here. Anyways, like I was saying, comment down below what you thought of this review. Comment what you thought of the movie. Share this review, like it, and as always, enjoy the movie.